welcome to the online learning channel. My name is Mayamri Bacharam, and today I will be teaching you something on language. I hope it's going to help you a lot. And this is a section that we really lose marks in your paper one. So I'm going to tell you something more about the parts of speech and your grammar. So I've divided this PowerPoint presentation into two parts. So this is part one. We're going to look at your different types of speech, your functions of each part of speech, and under grammar, we're going to look at your vocabulary and your good knowledge of word grammar. So we have 8 parts of speech. Every word is a part of speech. The 8 parts of speech are the following. Number 1, we have noun. Number 2, pronoun. Then we have adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. Right, first of all, we're going to look at nouns. What are nouns? Nouns are naming words. They provide labels for the things we find in our world, objects and other things, people, ideas, and concepts, places, and so on. There are 4 different categories of nouns. Common noun, proper noun, and collective nouns are related to one another. Abstract nouns form a group on their own. Right, common nouns are the names of non-specific things. In other words, they label general categories of things. Example, astronaut, mountain, child, shop, and emperor. Proper nouns are the names of specific examples of common nouns, the names of shops, etc. Collective nouns label groups or collections of common nouns. Example, a bunch of grapes, team of footballers, swarm of bees, flock of sheep, and a constellation of stars. Abstract nouns are also labels, but instead of labeling physical objects that we can touch and feel, they name ideas or concepts or emotions. Example, history, pleasure, competence, frustration, death. Abstract nouns cannot be experienced through any of the 5 physical senses. Learners often get confused with this. Learners argue with happiness. An abstract noun can be felt, confusing the emotions or feeling with physical touching, or that you cannot touch a shadow, a common noun, or a cloud. Right, these are your types of pronouns. Pronouns are words that we use in place of nouns or other pronouns in a sentence to make it less repetitive and less awkward. Right, so these are your different types of pronouns. You have personal pronoun, used for a specific object or person, and you have your different examples. Then you have your demonstrative pronouns, used to shadow or identify one or a number of nouns that may be far or near in distance or time. Integrative pronouns, used to ask questions about a person or object that we do not know about. Relative pronoun, used to join or relate 2 different clauses together by referring to the noun in the previous clause using the pronoun. Indefinite pronouns, used to show unspecified object or people, whether in plural or in singular. Reflexive and intensive pronouns, used to indicate a noun which has been used in an earlier part of the same sentence. And reciprocal pronoun, used when 2 or more nouns are doing or being the same to one another. Now, under each of the types of pronoun, I've helped you with different examples which you need to take a look at. Right, then we're going to look at adjectives. Adjectives define or illustrate or in some way give more information about terms to qualify nouns, to which they are always attached. They help to give a sentence its interest and color. For example, a dog but the man. Adjective, a tiny dog but the aggressive man. Right, I've just used simple examples for you. right? You've got different kinds of adjectives. You've got the adjective of quality, adjective of quantity, adjective of number, demonstrative adjective, distributive adjective, integrative adjective, possessive adjective, emphasizing adjective, exclamatory adjective, and your proper adjective. Right, then we're going to look at verbs. Verbs are words that express actions or behavior. They tell us what an object does or did or will do. You've got the finite and you have the non-finite verbs. Right, the finite verb acts as a main verb and can be changed according to the noun. Use only or in the present and past tense. Can be indicative of a passive or active voice, and also number, singular or plural. Right, and I've got examples for you on finite verb. Non-finite verb cannot be the main verb as they do not talk about the action that is being performed by the subject or noun. They do not indicate any tense, mood, or gender. Used as nouns, adverbs, and adjectives. Used to form a non-finite clauses which are simply dependent clauses and that use non-finite verbs. And I have three examples of non-finite verb. You've got the gerunds, you've got the infinitives, and you've got the past participles. You've got different types of verbs. You've got regular verb, a verb that's past and past participle is made by adding the D or the ED is called a regular verb. Irregular verb is the formation of the verb is otherwise than the regular verb, it is called irregular verb. Then you have the linking verb, a verb that acts as a link between two words is called the linking verb. It connects or links a subject to a noun or an adjective in the predicate. Transitive verb, excuse me, a verb that needs objects to complete itself is called a transitive verb. It is called transitive because it passes its action from subject to object. Intransitive verb, a verb that doesn't need any object to complete itself is called an intransitive verb. It does not pass its action from subject to the object. Finite verb means those verbs which can change their form in accordance with the subject. Infinite verb, which has to before it, it shows infinite action when it is used at the beginning of the sentence. Now on the next block, I've got types of verbs with examples. You've got your verb, the finite, non-finite, your action verb, helping verb, your linking verb, regular, and your irregular verbs. Parts of speech, your adverbs. I'm still dealing with parts of speech. We're going to deal with adverbs now. Just as adjectives qualify nouns, adverbs modify the verbs. This means that they tell us one of a number of simple things about the verbs. Now you've got different types of adverbs. You've got adverbs of frequency, always, sometimes, often, usually, frequently. These are the words that you use in your adverbs of frequency. Then you've got adverbs of manner. These are your different words: cheerfully, efficiently, painfully, carefully, slowly, badly, easily, well, quickly, etc. And on the last column, I have examples in ways you can use your different words. You've got adverbs of time: now, yesterday, soon, later, yet, tomorrow, already, tonight, today, and so on. Then you have adverbs of place: off, abroad, above, far, away, outside, behind, etc. Then you've got adverbs of degree: quite, to, entirely, very, extremely, rather, almost, absolutely, just, barely, deeply, etc. Adverbs of evaluation: apparently, clearly, fairly, frankly, fortunately, honestly, hopefully, carelessly, etc. And you've got conjunctive adverbs: accordingly, besides, equally, further, hence, namely, next, now, additionally, etc. Like I mentioned on the last column, I did examples that you can use these words in. Right, then you continued with the list of adverbs. These are the list and your examples that you can learn on your own. Right, then we're going to look at prepositions, things you should know on preposition. First of all, a preposition is a word which is used before a noun. It shows its connection to another word in the sentence. Example, the cat rests on the sofa. She is standing by the car and he is fond of tea. Right, and on the next column, I've got your list of preposition words. Location, place, your time, movement, manner, agent, or instrument. These are your different words that you can use in those categories. Preposition are the words which are used to connect the different nouns, pronoun, and phrases in a sentence. You've got two types of preposition. You have a simple prepositions. These prepositions are constructed by only one word like on, at, about, with, after, for, etc. Example, he found the book about dogs on the table in the bedroom. The compound preposition, these prepositions are two-word preposition according to, because of, next to, due to, example, etc. Example, he was upset because of his son's behavior. We're going to look at conjunction. Conjunctions are used when joining two or more words, phrases, or clauses. We have three types of conjunctions. First of all, the coordinating conjunction, which connects independent clauses, and I have examples for you. And, but, for, neither, or, so, or yet. You've got the subordinating conjunction, which connects the dependent clause to the rest of the sentence. And you have your examples after, although, because, before, and so on. And the last one is a correlative conjunction, which joins parts that should be treated as equal. Example, but, also, either, or, not only, but also, neither, nor, and so on. Right, I've helped you with more definition and examples with conjunction, which you can go off on your own. Right, then we're going to look at interjection. What is an interjection? An interjection is a word that expresses emotion. An interjection is often followed by an exclamation point. Sometimes an interjection is separated from the rest of the sentence, which is a comma. Interjections are different kinds of words you shout out when you are filled with happiness, horror, shock, anger, pain, or confusion. Now, what are interjections? Interjections are words or phrases that shows emotions. I've helped you with your different types of interjections. You've got doubt. These are your expressional words that you can use under doubt. Pity, realization, disapproval, irritation, panic, dismay, and disappointment. Right, this is just a recap. We have 8 parts of speech, which is your noun, your verb, preposition, pronoun, adverbs, adjective, conjunction, and interjections. All right, now we're going to look at something called grammar. Now, grammar is very, very important in the English language as well. A formal definition of the syntactic structure of a language, set of rules that tell you whether a sentence is correctly structured or not. A sentence is a well-formed string in a language. Rules specify the order of components and their subcomponents in a sentence. Your vocabulary, listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Vocabulary refers to the words we know to communicate effectively. In general, vocabulary can be described as oral vocabulary or reading vocabulary. Oral vocabulary refers to the words we use in speaking or recognize in listening. Reading vocabulary refers to the words we recognize in printing. All right, I'm going to leave you with 7 ways to improve your grammar. 7 ways to improve your grammar. First of all, you must know your reader. Practice the use of practice, and you must have an immediate practice. You must practice your writing often, and so on. Wordiness, be careful of your word count. It must be short, concise. You must reduce your words. Study, make sure that you use different references when you're studying, and so on. Reading, record your reading. Ask someone to listen to the way you read, and make sure you reread. Get used to familiarize yourself with your difficult words when you are reading. Spell check, which is very, very important. When you mark your paper 1, we mark your spelling as well. So please be careful of your spelling. And your active verbs, be careful of that as well. All right, I will leave you with that, and I will see you the next time. Thank you so much for listening.